What is fear? How, I want to know how many of you have faced fear in your life. Okay, that's great. So most of us, right? What is it that incites that fear? Is it something that can be conquered? Or is it something simply too abstract to challenge? Well, most of you may think fear is not a phenomenon which happens to strong and successful people, and it only happens to the people who are vulnerable or weak. The very fact that I'm standing in front of all of you today, standing here talking about it, says that it's an intangible commonality to both the categories. The difference lies in how they deal with it. Whether they let fear get the best of them or they get a grip of fear. Many of us have crumbled under fear, but many of us have used it as a platform to rise even to greater heights. It's like a double-edged sword, you see. It can either make you or it can break you. It could be a huge wall in front of you, or it could be an opportunity for all of you to grow. But again, what is this fear? And more importantly, how does it influence and how your story ends? Let me tell you about this time when there was this slump in aviation industry. Coincidentally, it was just when I wanted to become a pilot. And there was no doubt in my mind that flying was the only thing that I wanted to do ever since I was 8 years old. At this point, I probably had two choices. Forget my dreams, completely abandon all the efforts, or to pursue, completely a different career, or take a risk and continue doing what I loved and wait for the right opportunity to strike golden. Finally, Air India came up with the job opportunities. It was the very breakthrough that I needed. I put in that extra mile, flew that extra high, and made it happen. That was the first time that I conquered my fear. You see, fear is but a natural reaction that brings us whenever we have uncertainties, attention, change, or struggle. While this acts as a defense mechanism, fear is nothing but an indication that we are leaving our comfort zone and we are ready to go and fly to unprecedented heights like never before. Fear is sort of multidimensional. I remember standing in front of my parents when I told them that I wanted to become a pilot. I could see the fear in my mother's eyes for my future. With the profession being historically male-dominated, I myself wasn't sure about the degree of success I would have. But what I was sure was that I was passionate about this, and that nothing would stop me to give all that I had to it. Everyone expected me to give up. I was faced with the fear of failure. What if I failed? So what did I do? Well, of course, I was fearful, but I continued to follow my path, challenging those fears. And then when I flew with an all-women's team in the majestic Boeing 777 over the North Pole, I was teleported back just for a moment to the point when I was so fearful back in the days. The fear of the unknown. Those butterflies in my stomach. they had turned into the brilliant northern lights that were shining, surrounding us. The applause that the passengers had not only on the flight, but for the power of women, what women can achieve when they follow the path of their dreams, they set their mind to it. This is what we are capable of when we give it our all, our best, and climb that mountain of self-doubt. The only way to conquer it is to be passionate about it and fuel your passion with hard and smart work and never, ever give up. The human brain is wired to be more comfortable with ease. And we are consciously choosing it to be a better version of all of us. And that is what brings all of us here, face to face, to be a better us. So how many of us have ever tried leaving our comfort zones? Quite a few. So with enough efforts, I promise you, you and I can train our minds to keep our friend, the fear, in check. Look, I'm not suggesting you that you ignore the fear and just experiment with life until you have nothing more to give. All I mean to tell you is that people must not let fear drive their decisions in life. And this can be done by expanding outside our comfort zone. With enough effort, all of us can train our minds and fully leverage this emotion to expand our horizons, to grow into perpetuity. This is a skill again, so it can be learned, taught, and even mastered. Life always has something to teach you, as long as you are willing to learn, no matter how much you have achieved. Even though I had recognized my dream of touching the stars, I had another dream for immersive educational experience and all the challenges that that came with. When I finally got the amazing opportunity to pursue my MBA at Columbia Business School, I found myself in the presence of an old friend. Any guesses what that old friend was? Yes, you got it right. Fear. So the fear of not being able to perform and keep up amongst my peers who were the geniuses, are the geniuses from all over the world. It's a fear felt by majority of the students who are suddenly exposed to the brilliant pool of talent. And how does one treat an old friend? Fear, the nostalgia, or with grudging approval? My reception was slightly different. I told myself that the fear was no more than an illusion trying to cloud my mind and stop me from doing my best. And I absolutely refused to give it that power. Something I want to tell all of you from confronting your fears. Let nothing nor anyone come in the way of you doing what you truly want to do, what you absolutely want to do in the best way. And I like using my fear as a tool to help me reach the endless possibilities that may lie ahead of me and maximize my potential. Life gives some of us choices. And some of us are fortunate to afford those choices. And if you are one of those fortunate ones, make it count. Because there are many people who cannot do so many different things under so many different circumstances. You see, that is exactly why fear is a gift. If God has given us the ability to help you break free from your shackles, leverage it, use it to make a difference in the world and skyrocket into glory. Do not give up in front of the fear. Give it your all to climb that huge mountain of fear that lies ahead. So a lot of my question, what is the secret sauce that lies behind not feeling ashamed of this word fear? The key, the secret sauce, is acceptance. Accept it and see it as a framework of opportunities. See it as a hidden gateway to discovering something transformational, something epic. And you will see what I mean. As a pilot myself, let me tell you something. Flying, statistically, is safer than crossing a road. I wonder how many of you are more scared of flying in turbulence or crossing the road? How many more are scared of flying in turbulence than crossing the road? All of us, pretty much all, right? Okay, so getting back to the statistics. In flying, takeoff is more critical than landing. While takeoff can be more critical than the flight itself due to the increasing energies, it is important for everyone to understand that the flight cannot happen without taking off. That could also be the greatest flight of your life. So don't back down from a challenge, but embrace it. Like I said before, fear is brought by change. But we cannot expect for everything in life to be a constant. Sometimes we are forced to trust our judgment under time. Historically, the most disastrous decisions have been made under the pressure of time, especially in the World War II. But also, the most life-changing decisions in a person's existence have also been made spontaneously. How do we ensure we are the part of the second group? Well, at least I hope you want to be the latter, right? We all want to make an impact in the world, don't we? Yes? Yes? I didn't hear you. Yes? Okay, great. So what do you think goes wrong in, doing the former tactic? I mean, aren't both of them capable of taking equally rational decisions? The fundamental difference between the two is the former are ruled by fear, whereas the latter rules their fear. So how do we actually pivot from here to there? For starters, I'd like to think that I could, possibly prepare countless number of times beforehand. So when actually you face the fear, the countermeasures already more of an algorithm in your mind. Or you could go with your instinct, which can be built with years of experience handling situations over similar constraints. Decision making is a skill, I repeat, which can be learned by anyone. It can help you make a choice for your dinner menu, or it could help you save a life at 35,000 feet. Perplexed? Let me elaborate. You see, a few years back, I had to make a medical emergency back to Delhi after a passenger fell ill on my Delhi-New York flight after departure. Even though we train all our lives to do this, but in real life, when it happens, Such a situation always generates complexities deeper than the simple binary yes or no. I had always considered safety of all the passengers my responsibility as well as priority. And seeing a passenger who means a world to someone requiring medical attention, I knew what I had to do at that moment. When that moment came, the only thought that I had was saving that life. Not that I look at it, I had two choices. Delhi was 1.5 hours away, and with terrible weather, or Lahore was right there, just underneath me, because I'd taken off and from Delhi to New York, and I could have easily diverted there. Doctors gave me that she had 2 hours to survive, so the choices were limited, and the decision was complex. I could have gone to Lahore, even though saving her life was super important. We took the split-second decision to return to Delhi and ended up saving her life. It helped us, our airline, to taste tangible success. But the success of saving a mother, a daughter, a wife, a life was priceless. So you see, fear is a useful ally so long as you do not let it get the better of you. At that point, me and my team did not let fear of losing her life get the better of us and still took the right decision. But sometimes it's just too stubborn to give in to fear at times in life, isn't it? Well, the more you face your fears, the more mastery you will get over it. Just as we all grow from a small child to adulthood, our perception of fear also needs to grow along with it. Experience teaches all of us something that textbooks never could. Try, fail, learn, and go on no matter what until we finally succeed. Now that you know how to tackle your fears and manipulate it right where you want it, what are you going to do next? Will you chase your dreams and fly to touch the stars to greater heights? Or stay safe, wait until the clouds pass, and risk losing sight of your goal forever? So what is it going to be for you? Are you going to let that fear break you? Or are you going to break that fear? Thank you.